If you've been wondering how you can be more productive by doing less, then this video is for you. This is Dr. Shannon Tran. I'm an efficiency executive coach helping busy professionals be able to work less, earn more, and have the time to actually enjoy their life. In this video, I'm going to share how you can be more productive by doing less. And I want to ask you if you've ever been in a situation where you felt like no matter how hard you work, it's just not enough. Maybe it's a person or a project or a boss that you're wanting to please, that you're wanting to do a good job for. And maybe it seems like no matter how much effort, how many hours you work, you're just not getting ahead. And when I've been in this situation in my own life, I often felt like it wasn't safe to slow down. And I had a fear that if I slow down, I would actually be less productive. And this is what keeps you in the loop. When you have a fear of slowing down, so you keep going, that's what keeps you in the loop of working really hard, because you're under that pressure to perform. And a lot of times, unless we're willing to get outside of our comfort zone, we'll keep performing until we get so exhausted we just can't perform anymore. Maybe you've had that where you ended up getting really sick and you needed to take time off just to take care of yourself. Or your relationship was on the brink of ruin because you were so focused on your work that you really neglected the relationship, your health, whatever the situation may be for you. And what I have found that in order to be highly productive and in order to get more done in less time, the key is to be able to align with your values. When you're aligned with your values, you have a lot more clarity about what it is that you need to be doing, how much energy you need to be putting into something, and in what amount, and in fact, what needs to be delegated. And when looking back in my own life and in a lot of executives that I serve, a lot of us like to do well, right? We're people pleasers, or maybe we're perfectionists. And what happens when we get so focused on someone else being pleased that we start to ignore our own intuition, our own wisdom. And maybe you take things further and you work harder while ignoring that you need to take a break, or ignoring that you need to set a boundary. And so we can be driven to be so productive that we actually ignore when we've hit a boundary, or when we need to say no, or when we need to delegate. And what happens is then we get into being unproductive because we're driven by the wrong belief, by the wrong mindset. And so it's really important when it comes to your performance that you're very clear about what are your top 3 values. And if you value having balance in your life, then you're going to be very clear about how many hours you're willing to work on this project, or you're going to be more clear about what's your part and what are you going to delegate, as opposed to taking it all on yourself. Or maybe the issue is you don't ask for help. And what I've found is when you really get better and better at getting clarity about your values and really operating from a place of your values instead of being driven by an insecurity or a need to please or a need to be a perfectionist, you actually end up being much more productive because you're able to put the energy in the right places with the right people at the right time. And that saves you a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort. It saves you unnecessary misery. It allows you to have better balance in your life, and more importantly, allows you to stay fulfilled in what you're doing so that you have meaning in the effort that you're putting into your activities. And so it's really important that if you want to be highly productive, if you want to get the most out of your day, align with your values. Know what are your top 3 values and make sure that your daily activities reflect those values. So if you value your family, then be very clear about the hours you're willing to work, and then give yourself permission to have time off. If you value your health, or your fitness or your nutrition, then really make sure that that's included when you're making decisions, when you're making choices. Maybe it's going to mean that you pre-plan your meals. Maybe it's going to mean that you get off of work at a certain time so that you can have a good dinner with your family rather than rushing home or going out and rushing to a fast food place or whatever you find that you're doing. I know for myself, what would happen is I'd end up spending a lot of money at restaurants, and I was making all of these restaurants really, really rich because I was spending a big portion of my income on restaurants because I wasn't planning my day well. I wasn't ending my day at a time that I needed to in order to support my health and my self-care. And so I want to invite you to take a couple minutes right now. If you're feeling exhausted, if you're overworked and overwhelmed, check in with yourself. Are you actually living your values, or is your life living you? Is your work living you? Are your kids living you? Whatever might be going on in your life right now, take a step back and just take stock. Do a quick self-assessment on what might be eating away at your productivity. And sometimes when we're not doing things that are meaningful, we end up procrastinating anyway. So if that's happening to you, ask yourself, are you clear about your values? Are you clear about what's most important to you? And this is something that we've got to do regularly. So it's a regular checkup for yourself every 3 to 6 months, is taking a moment and some time to reflect on your life and getting clarity about your top 3 values and making sure that your daily activities reflect your values. And in fact, Brendon Burchard, who is the author of the Habits of High Performers, talks about clarity as being one of the 6 top habits for being highly productive, is repeatedly seeking clarity. So again, if you're exhausted, if you're overworked, if you're feeling overwhelmed, take it as a sign that you need to perhaps take a step back and reflect. If you want to be more productive and get more done doing less, align with your values. If you don't know what your values are, this can be an opportunity for you to step back and do an exercise that allows you to get connected to your values. If you need help with this, you can reach out to me at support@shannontranphd.com. I'll send you a values worksheet that will help you be able to go through this process. If you recognize that your energy is going in the wrong places, or you're not even sure where you need to be putting your energy, reach out to me and we can book an efficiency breakthrough session. In this session, we identify the leaks in how you operate your life. We uncover blocks to your balance and your productivity, and we basically will map out a plan to help you move forward so you can transition from working really hard to working with more ease and efficiency. And again, you can reach out to me at support@shannontranphd.com. So again, if you would like to learn how to be more productive doing less, then the solution is align with your values. All right, have a great day and take care.